All right, traders. Hey, welcome on back here this Monday afternoon, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. All of our members here, students here alike, just give me a quick chat back. Let me know if you got me here loud and clear. Should be good. There we go. Right out the gate here. Brian, Tim, Lita, Margaret, Jeff, Wiz, Kevin. Oh, we got more here too. We got Day, Ron, Amon, Mike, Jeff. All of us, full house here. How about that? Great to see all of us here. I think Fausto's here right now on the chat board there, lingering somewhere. So, hopefully the SOPA stock keeps pushing on up. A little shake here, but we'll see if there's more to it, though. Perhaps a higher low building and then still get the slingshot later on. But hey, if you're joining us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., popping up lower left, right below the avatar as always, at Cyber Trading You. Look to hit the follow or subscribe button down there, especially if you are new. If you've already done that, don't do that again because you'll probably unsubscribe and unfollow. So only click it once. How about that? But without further ado, let's hop into the thick of things here. The SOPA stocks up a lot. Not up as much as this. Not up as much as this thing. What the hell's going on here with SPRB? I keep calling it SPRC, folks. If you ever see me say SPRC, that's just my dyslexia in me. My apologies. It's SPRB as in boy. But this thing just took off like a missile just a moment ago, and it was up a lot already earlier today. So I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you all about it. I was just chatting with someone here just a moment ago on it. So just to say there that this stock is up off of some pharma news, FDA breakthrough therapy designation for a drug I can't pronounce, for some enzyme replacement therapy for the treatment of Sanfilippo syndrome type B. I swear to you, I'm not making this up. These are just words I'm reading out to you, folks. So I only know 0.0001% of all sorts of like diseases, things that happen. Hey, we learn actually through the stock market. A lot of companies come out with different news for like different types of cancers and blood diseases, autoimmune. Sanfilippo, I'm gonna have to look this up a little bit myself. I've never heard that until today. So with that said, is that the reason why this thing is just going crazy? There's some FDA breakthrough designation? Well, partly. But here's the thing, though. This stock is a low float stock. And by low float, I mean, this is as low as like the bottom of the barrel gets here. It's like 500,000 share float, like by today. Most stocks that we call low float are like 10 million, 5 million, 2 million. Like that's pretty damn low to begin with. Shoot, like some people call 50 million kind of low if you're more looking at like Intel, Nvidia, etc. Right? So to each their own on that. The lower the number is, the more risky it gets. Yeah, 500,000 is as crazy as I've ever seen. Right now, on top of that, icing on the cake, our friend, the pharma bro, Martin Shkreli, if you're familiar with him, right? The guy that raised that drug up like 4,000% all those years ago. Well, it's also the guy that called out correctly the QURE trade that we nailed. We got in on this trade from like 42 bucks, tailed them on it, got out like around like 55, 54, pushed up even higher from there. But listen, a trade's a trade. This is awesome. Now, he also called out this one, ATYR, about like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. He actually said this company has some of the worst data he's ever seen on a drug, and he was expecting like an 80% drop at some point. He actually nailed it to the number. The guy's a bit of a jerk. He's kind of an asshole, for being honest here. And there's no other way to describe it, really. He's like a kind of a weird-looking dude, like kind of lives in his mom's basement type of guy. It is what it is, but he's like a rude fella also. And he knows his stuff with the pharma stocks. He doesn't know his stuff as much with the quantum stocks, though, because he said that he was shorting some of the quantum trades, Rigetti, right? I mean, if he tried doing that a few weeks ago or a few days ago, tried being the hero there, contrarian trader, he would have been getting margin called, I'm sure. So, he knows his stuff with the pharma stocks. That's the thing. That's his specialty, right? You come to Fausto and Josh and Cyber Trading University to learn how to trade. We're not teaching you how to do like a circus act, juggling bowling pins in the air, literally, right? You go to Cirque du Soleil for that, right? Well, point being is that you go to the pharma bro guy for pharma stocks, not the quantum stocks. So, this is played out beautifully, I reckon. Now, the issue on this stock, though, is that you can't just jump into it because the guy is talking. Because what if you got in at like 44, it came all the way down to 30, and then you get chickened out or you lose enough money where you get liquidated. So it's a huge risk to trade a stock like this to begin with, even from pre-market, right? You might sit here and say, like, oh, I wish I got in at 20 bucks. It's at 128 now. Well, yeah, me too. I agree. Me too. Like, yeah, we're in the same boat there. But it's a matter of tradable versus not tradable, right? So going back to SOPA here, why is SOPA more tradable? Well, it's not because it's cheaper. Cheaper means nothing in tradable versus not tradable. It's a matter of liquidity and spread and the float. I reckon as well. So how about this? I'll just do a little comparison here. I can't possibly imagine that the SOPA stock is going to have a lower number than this, lower float than 552,000 shares. I would have some egg on my face if that's going to happen. Well, 5 million. So about 10 times the float compared to the other one. That makes it a bit more tradable, which it's still kind of a low number to begin with, but it's got a much better order book, right? So for right now, SOPA easily, right out the gate, I'll put it on the top of our watch list, the SPRB stock. I'm going to put it on our list, guys. I'm rooting anyone on right now. If anyone took this trade from earlier, if you got in before it went berserk, then you got such a big cushion on your trade, then God bless. It's like hitting the lottery a bit there. So I'm rooting you on if somehow you got in on a trade here from like 35, 40, whatever the case may be. I would not recommend just jumping in now at this point. I know it keeps going up a bit here and there, but it's like you're playing roulette. You're waiting for a down halt to kick in. It's like we said this the other day. When you see like 5 red, numbers in a row on roulette, red, 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 red. It's like, all right, black. And that makes sense, right? This stock got halted about 3 or 4 times going up, right? Once, twice. I think this one's a third time. This one counts. And then 4 right here. This actually is number 5. I would be betting on a down halt kicking in at some point. That would be my bet in this game of roulette that we're playing. But that's just me, right? Brian says, so nuts, just came back in. And yeah, Brian, exactly. But you know better than almost anyone, Brian, or as good as anyone, literally. Because, the longer that you're here with us, Brian W., one of our longtime members here, wrote, he freaked out basically when he came back in, for lack of better phrasing, right? When a stock is up 1,000%, 500%, let alone 1,500%, it unlocks the door. Remember that. You hear me say this all the time. It unlocks the door to the insane asylum. You start getting all these other stocks to make these like short squeezes, random stock XYZ, probably some, Asian market stocks here and there. I don't know if that's going to be coincidentally tied to SOPA stock because I believe this is a company that works in Southeast Asian markets. I did a little research on them just a moment ago. But, hey, for right now, the SOPA stock here pushing back on up, and the man himself just said it a moment ago, Fausto here. He was looking for a pop back up on the SOPA. Oh, well, for lack of better use, Fausto, I'm going to be showing everyone our private chat here for just a second. So Fausto just wrote this to me personally on the side about 5 minutes ago before this meeting started. How about that? So he's lingering here in the chat board. You saw what just happened here. So, this is looking pretty good. Is anyone in on this trade right now? Maybe Albert, Brian, Jeff, Leda? Leda, you're in? There you go. Nice. Jeff, in and out. All right, cool. As long as we're making money there, we're always going to leave money on the table. So, if you jumped in, took some good meat off the bone there, some good action, then that's perfect. Lee just closed out. Kevin got in from 340 out at 429. Excellent job, Kev. Really nice. Lita in from the 428. So riding it out pretty good here. All right, so let's just go through here pretty quickly. We got top 2% gainers on our watch list. And like I told you, I guarantee you the SPRB trade's going to unlock the door to the insane asylum and open the door for all the other crazies to break out. Actually going back to the OneMed stock. I mean, how could we not put this on our list again here too? Just broke a new high a moment ago, albeit pulling back now. But, this stock, like the SOPA, good order book for right now. It's probably some flavor of the day type stuff, but, it's a low float stock. It's made a great move though. The name of I wrote this in the chat board just earlier today too. If you're Ron or Leda or, Albert, any of us here in our chat board here, just scroll up. I wrote this to you here just before. Today's word or phrase of the day is higher lows. And I mean that most specifically here when this was building higher lows, right? From 340 to 350. Well, it was a little shaky around 40, but still built the higher lows and then, kept going. I mean, look at ONMD the whole way through across the afternoon. Higher lows. Doesn't get much cleaner. AMDL, AMD trade's probably going to fill the gap on the way down at some point there. A good chunk of it. DVLT, there we go. Right away, just a no-brainer. Going to put this on our watch list here. Actually, give me a sec. Got to put that SPRB trade on the backside of our list. That's going to be on there, but we're going to focus on these a lot more first. The stocks that have done pretty well here and not up as much. Caramel here. We nickname it caramel. Is it caramel or caramel, folks? What do you think? I don't know if that's my speech impediment or if that's my New York accent there kicking in. Is it caramel or caramel? That's one of the ones that I think a lot of people are split on. Either way, it's technically called critical metals. I'm going to call it caramel. This ended up making a nice drop here earlier today on news that Trump and the White House administration, they are not going to be taking a position in the stock. They're not going to be doing what they did like they did on Intel. So with that, it's a hot sector. The rare earth metals companies, they've been really good of late. Oh, they've been a really strong move of late, the last month or two, right? The CRML, the TMC stock here, USAR, all have done great for us, even from the end of last week. But the news that came out was specific to this company. It wasn't as if they said they weren't going to invest or put a position in any of them. They just said specifically CRML. And what that means is that the TMC trade, although it dropped with that move, well, it came all the way back up. It's up 5%. So it wouldn't shock me if this actually squeezes higher. The USAR trade, not so much. Not so much there. All right, so I might put the TMC trade on our list there for right now. Let's just keep going through. SDLP, nice run up before on this one. Solid Power. I mean, we've traded the stock since as long as I've been hired by Fausto, I think, like in 2014, 2015. I feel like it, right? Or am I losing track of my stocks? Maybe 2020. Listen, guys, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months. Everything goes pretty quick. But nevertheless, we're pretty experienced on this one stock, SDLP. Nice push up earlier. I missed out on this trade personally. I didn't really realize that this had ran up. BZAI, nice little push here right now. Just broke a new high earlier, but still holding higher lows. So another stock, just absolutely, why not? Good spread likely. Good enough spread. Just watch the bid here. Watch the bid ask. It might open up here and there, especially if we can get a nice slingshot. ORBS. This is the stock that popped up like 2,000% one day for us. This was, the other week, the other month, whenever it was here, back from September 10th. It took off, right? If it can make a fraction of the type of run that it made back then, I'll be happy with that. Just the liquidity sucks on this trade. I'm not really a fan of the level 3, level 4, all that good stuff that we need to see. KOPN, actually, this is more of like a category 1 or 2 trade. So I was going to put this on our watch list anyway, but this is kind of like the polar opposite of that ORBS trade, isn't it? Pally's trying to go back up from 2. As you can see, I am in this trade right now. I had my stop set right below this low, or maybe right at this low, if not just a penny below. But it's trying to bounce a little bit. It made a better move earlier today. I was more hopeful for this to try and make a pop earlier here. I've been in this trade for a little bit across the afternoon. It's gone nowhere. I'm not going to add this to our watch list for right now. If it pops later on, we'll call it out. But we got other fish to fry here. Huma, not a bad move, just a little slow. I'd say the same thing. Say the same thing there. Archer's made a pretty good push today, and this might be setting up for an even better swing move over time. I know a couple of us have been big fans of Archer. I mean, just recently. We've all been a big fan of Archer over the last year. Fausto has been leading that ship from 2024. So it's just to say here, making a pretty good intraday move. I got to add this to the top of our list for right now, ACHR. Now you got the others here too, don't you? You got RCAT, that's pushing back on up pretty nicely. ONDS, a little bit here. Had a better market open, but then dragged down, so that might take its time more. Jobby's doing all right. It's kind of just doing its thing. All these stocks are up today, right? This is where you got to pick and choose. You can't really just add everything. You're going to have a 50 stock watch list. So at least for now, the Archer, I like. At least for now, the RCAT trade, I do like. Yeah, this one's looking pretty nice. For now, let's see what else we got, though. This SOB. So I took a hit last week on this stock, like a 4.5% loss on this trade. I got overzealous and yeah. So Celsius ended up making the same move where I did take a loss on this also before I jumped back in and ran it up. I just made the same mistake again, and this just filled the gap. I didn't jump back in on this thing though. I just popped all the way back up. So everyone's stubborn, folks, including the instructors, right? We are human beings. We're not the IBM Watson supercomputer. We're going to make mistakes every now and then. We're going to, look right when we should be looking left. We should, not enter a trade when we do. Either way, it happens. So the Path stock, great intraday move today. Could have made money on the day trade at least this morning, but for right now, kind of pulling back. We'll check back in on this trade tomorrow. Serve, great move here today. This could be setting up for a good swing move over time. Man, there's a lot to look at here, guys. I mean, if you think I'm taking my time here, I kind of have to, but listen, there's a lot that we have to sift through from this gainers list. The whole market was moving up just before. The ABAT trade has been a great swing as well. And just, in this channel for right now, we'll pass on it for today. FIG, this thing. Damn it. This is one of the ones that I was looking right when I should have been looking left. This pulled back to our $50 price that we've been hyping up since their IPO. And they finally went into it. This was back from Wednesday last week. Under, over, up. I wasn't looking when I should have been looking, and it cost me. This is a great trade from 50. Made a nice pop earlier today on some news. I'm going to pass on it for right now, but got to put this back on my personal list. Got caught slacking. VKTX, ASTS. This is a pretty lively move right now. Pushing back on up right now. All-time highs, I believe. Kind of hard to ignore this trade. I'll add the ASTS for right now. Other nuclear stock here. Lightbridge. Got some Bitcoin miners out there. The Ethereum one. There's the Solana ETF while we're at it. Check it out. Why not? There's so much to look at here, folks, in this market. I mean, a lot of us are calling out open right now. It's number 101, triple-digit number there. Not by percent, but by number on my gainers list. But yeah, this is obviously making a great push right now off of some sort of news. So they don't call me Newsman Levitan for nothing. I'm the only one that calls myself that. Just let me know. All right, what do we got here? What's the news on open? I got no news. News is delayed here today. All right, I got to figure out what's going on here, folks. If you got news in the chat board right now, if you're in the trading floor right now, just let me know what's going on here with the stock open. Oh, it's definitely heading to 950, Albert. Yeah, I mean, better now than ever that we catch this, and hopefully there's a lot more to it. So what did I tell you before? Regardless if there's news out on this or not, just telling you that the SPRB trade opened up the door for all the crazies out there to start going nuts. That includes open. All right, let's hop over to the loser side. We'll find anything else just in a bit. We actually have to just quickly go through the losers list for right now. The QUBT trade dropping back down. This was getting killed in pre-market. So this could be a good short. This actually could be a hell of a short here heading into the afternoon. It's hard to borrow from me. I brought this up on Friday saying if this holds over 24, this has the makings of being a potentially great short squeeze. Well, whatever news came out over the weekend, it gapped down big at 4 o'clock in the morning. That pretty much is game over. Maybe it could have ran back up to 24 again, but either way, it fell short, right back down. We're going to look to try and short it. How about that? So we'll add this to our list as a short trade. Hertz got beat up earlier. We're not going to do much on that right now. American Eagle, I could add an American Eagle to our list. It is tradable. It's at the lows. Take a look at the daily chart. Oh, hello. Don't mind if I do. That is a nice gap to fill. And even if it doesn't fill it all the way down, if we can get towards these lows that we had back from late Jan, early Feb, even if that holds, like to go from 16 down to 1538, and then if not, maybe lower, yeah, that would be interesting. You know what? I'm selling myself into putting this on our watch list here, the American Eagle short. Why not, right? Why not? Prove a point by telling members here that don't think that we short stocks. Listen, this is shortable. It's at the lows, and there's a gap fill. 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. All right. As always, Leda, appreciate you. Thank you. Umit, good evening to you over there in Turkey, as always. Love that you join us here most afternoons, if anything. So hope you're doing well coming off the weekend. Rob on the QUBT trade. Yeah, follow the trend. I would follow the trend there first. Open contract with AMD. Is that it? That's the news, Barbara? On YouTube, Barbara N on YouTube. Appreciate you there, and see if there's any news from our chat board right now. Interesting enough, I don't have my Twitter open right now, so I normally actually go there because someone's probably posting on Twitter. If anything, it's a matter if you believe the news or not. Let's see. I don't see it. I mean, Benzinga might be slang. Who knows? But either way, hey, whatever the news is, it's good news. That's what we know. That's all we care about, the trend. And now at this point, the orders out there, the volume out there. So not only do you have resistance at 950, you have a 375,000 plus share seller out there, but you also got one here at 40 that popped up. It had to have popped up in the last 2-3 minutes. How do I know that? Well, it hit a high of 944 on this candle and then spiked back down, and then this order had to have shown up after. So you do have a little working resistance at 940, 950, and then after that, likely 10. After that, likely 10. All right, opens on there now. Good call, guys. Oh, Mike, you closed your short? Well, hopefully you got out near those lows, and you could always get back in. You could always re-enter if it looks better heading into this afternoon. I think that there's more room on it, and that's a big gap. So that's the type of opportunity, Mike. There you go. That's a hell of a trade there. Easy direction there once it ended up breaking a bit of a lower low this morning, that AEO. All right, folks, last call before we wrap up here. Just give me a quick sec back to Benzinga and check out the scan here before we finish up. This is my scan I'm back testing stuff on, so that's not for today. ONMD, SOPA, already got RGTI. I think I added Rigetti, right? I think we added the quantums, did we? Well, I added the QUBT as a short. The Rigetti's bouncing right back on up. How's QUBT doing? It's down for a reason percentage-wise. So I don't trust this one as far as a long. If the whole sector goes back up, I'm sure this may go with it to a degree. But listen, if we're coming back to the quantum trades right now, this second, we take a look back on QBTS, because this is up even more percentage-wise, and then the Rigetti after that. You know what? How about this? I'm going to add all three of them to our list, but just note, I'm only going to trade QUBT if these make lower highs and then pull back with the market. Rigetti and QBTS are the much better long plays to work with, though, heading into the afternoon. By far, by large. That's just where, at this point, it's catch 22. It's like one or the other, right? TSLL, says Deborah. It's at the high of the day, right? So if we're looking back on the name brand stocks right now, NVIDIA, Tesla, a Palantir type. Palantir had a great morning. It's like kind of wiped out quick. Looking at Tesla on the flip side of that, yeah, I got to add Tesla, actually. Good shot from Deborah here. Tesla / ETF. All right, then from Lee, the BMNR. There's some life on it. Don't get me wrong. And Lee, if you're in it already, I'm rooting you on, as always. You know that. This is where I will say, though, for a stock like $50 plus, let's pick and choose our battles at this stage. Tesla, I got to put on our list because it's like the name brand stock. It's like the one of the Mag Sevens that's like at the highs. I feel like there's even better opportunity on that in terms of at least a cleaner trade. If the stars could align for the BMNR, then there's probably more potential on this. Now, in terms of the order book I don't like. I'd rather us focus on a stock that has a better book than that. So you got to pick and choose our battles for right now. Folks, I like our list. It is big. It is long. It's everything that we need to see. We got longs, we got shorts, we got name brand, we got small cap. Why stray away from this watch list from this point forward, right? It's got everything you need here, folks. So start and stick with this watch list for right now. We'll be back on the mic, though, going into the next 10 or so minutes at 3:05 Eastern. We'll be back. And then we'll chat from there. All right. If you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., as always, just look to hit the follow or subscribe button if you are new. Right down below, lower left, right below the avatar there at Cyber Trading U. And then otherwise, if you're interested in joining us inside our live trading room, just go right down to the link scrolling on the bottom below, and that will get you access to our live trading room. And then you'll be settled there with us. We got about 102 of us joining us right now inside our room. So Michael, Margaret, Leda, Deborah, Lee, Leda, yeah, all of us here just joining us this afternoon. We'll come back on in just a few minutes here, folks. Talk to you then.